If you're planning a trip to Serbia, you'll likely visit Belgrade. Once you're there, you might notice this small building, visible from almost any corner of the city, St. Sava Temple. It is the second largest Orthodox church in the world. It's open for visitors and entrance is free. You should just make sure you're not wearing any clothes that are too revealing. But who was Saint Sava? Well, he was a prince. Born somewhere around 1174 to Father Stefan Nemanja and Mother Anna, Sava's given name was Rastislav Nemanjić, but people called him Rastko. I'll keep calling him Sava throughout this video because it's tricky saying Rastko in between English words, but just so you know, he was named Sava only after he became a monk. His parents had three sons, Vukan, Stefan, and him, Rastislav. They also had a few daughters, but it was never noted how many, nor what their names were, though historians have their guesses. Sava was about 10 years younger than Stefan, and it's said that his parents prayed to God they'd have another child, so they were blessed with having him when they were already 50 plus years old. Sava's father, Stefan Nemanja, was the founder of the Nemanjić dynasty and 54th ruler of Serbia, in their time called Raška. He was a super important figure in Serbian history, so go check out his story if you're interested. Naturally, he gave each of his sons areas to govern, but Sava wasn't about that life. He loved reading and was very interested in Christian religion, so when a monk visited his father's court telling him about his travel plans, Sava took off with him to Sveta Gora, without telling his parents. There, he ordained in a Russian monastery, and that's how he got his name Sava when he was about 18 years old. In 1196, his father abdicated the throne in his second son's favor, and with his wife went to where Sava was. Together, they built Hilandar, Serbian Orthodox monastery still active today, and Stefan Nemanja died there a few years later, around 1200, with his wife dying a few months after him as well. While he was alive, his two sons didn't have an open conflict regarding the throne succession, but apparently as soon as he closed his eyes, Vukan attacked Stefan. Sava then took his father's remains and went back to Serbia to his brothers. It is said that he made his brothers reconcile over their father's bones. This was one of many instances when Sava saved the day and prevented bloodshed using only his words, that people considered him an extremely wise man, an intelligent spokesman, capable of reasoning with anyone and making them see logic with the help of his calming demeanor. His brother Stefan would often ask for Sava's opinion and guidance on state matters, and sent him many times to talk to anyone who planned on attacking Serbia. Sava would almost always manage to persuade people into understanding war was not the solution. Being called possibly the best human of his time and after, people loved him and made him the protagonist of many of their hero stories. There's countless short stories of how Sava helped anyone who needed help, and people quote him even today. Being credited with securing Serbia's religious and political independence, as well as being called the founder of Serbian medieval literature, Sava was and is highly respected by all his people. He was the first Serbian archbishop, and Serbian Orthodox Church regards him and his ideals as basis for today's religion. He also wrote the oldest known constitution of Serbia, Zakonopravilo, that served as foundation for all Serbia's subsequent constitutions. Serbian people loved him so much that his influence never weakened. Not even centuries later, when an uprising against Ottoman Empire's rule resulted in Saint Sava's remains being moved to Belgrade in 1595 and burned in hopes of destroying Serbian people's unwavering adoration for Sava and his Orthodox Church. That very spot is where the Temple of Saint Sava was built and stands today. For churches and schools in Serbia, Sava is the most prominent historical figure. He was nicknamed the Enlightener, and almost every school in Serbia has his icona hanging somewhere in the building. The term Školska slava also refers to Saint Sava, as the day he passed away, January 27th, was chosen to commemorate him in both religious and educational institutions. That means kids get a day off school. There's usually a school play or a similar event, but no classes, so it's safe to say we all love the man from early childhood.